Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the XLNC Esports Midweight Testing Grounds Week 3. My name is Phinick. Joining me on the desk today is Smartest2, and we're getting ready to go in our last matchup of the night. This one between Phoenix Carnage and Essentia Lightning.
Yeah, and we already see the Tristana Lulu bands coming in. They saw that bot lane from last game, said we don't want to deal with it. I'm expecting last band to most likely be a Galio or a Fizz coming in. Wouldn't be terribly surprised to see that. Oh, the set actually, they choose to not first pick it, but rather to just ban it away, even though the counter Kled already banned away from Essentia.
Well, the Kled is also there as a ban if they want to pick Aatrox, right?
Well, Kled is actually Blaze's top laner of Phoenix's most played champion this season. So, that's why they got rid of the set. They don't want it. They want to prio the Rumble instead. They have already targeted 4 out of 5 of the champions that Essentia played last game. But man, oh man, that Wukong Ornn answer is disgusting.
Yeah, they didn't ban away Wukong. Wukong was banned away in the last game. We see Olaf being picked up in the jungle here for Phoenix Carnage. So a bit of a salty run back, except different teams. With the Olaf being picked up, have seen that one in the first game of the night, as well as the Fiora. This is gonna be another Fiora Ornn matchup, isn't it? No, it's Maokai.
No, they said they decided to go the safer route, saying, you know what, we don't want to risk that split push coming in. Pretty excited to see this this game 3, the finals for the night that we have going on here. Already a pretty beefy lineup coming in from both sides. I'm expecting support to most likely get picked up here. There are some priority supports, such as Nautilus, still available, played by both supports. Instead, it is going to be that Lucian that gets picked up. Kind of surprised to see Lucian pry out here.
Well, so there's no Sejuani, so no combo there. Braum is probably going to be banned away here if Phoenix is afraid of a Lucian Braum matchup. But here's something interesting about Phoenix. They have not picked their bot lane at all. So they are letting both of their solo lanes potentially get counterpicked. I mean, you can see a Maokai support every now and then.
Yep. Get that advantageous matchup, as it is going to have to be the support or flexed mid / flex jungler that comes in here as last pick, as the Morgana Nocturne to get banned away. Even Phoenix has no idea. They're like, yeah, we don't know what roles come in last. We're going to get rid of this thing because it looks annoying and it doesn't really work with their composition. So even though we don't have a lot of good reason to ban it, we'll ban it because it's annoying. I mean, no other real reason you'd ban it when you already have 3 really good answers in the Nocturne. I personally would have liked to have seen a different jungler ban come in, something more along the lines of a Karthus, Zac, Lee, Evelyn, champions that are actually played by Striker.
Well, here's something interesting. Leona's being picked up by Lax. Oh my god. Are you taking his signature champ here? No, Leona's being picked up by Laxon here. He played it very well in game number 1. However, Laxon signature champ Swain, and he actually does not get Swain here. Trundle gonna be picked up on the jungle, so that will be Swain Maokai bot lane?
Could be a Rumble Swain in the bot lane.
Could be more likely.
More likely to see the Rumble go bot than the Maokai, though it's not entirely unlikely. Basically, we'll change the CC, right? So Rumble Maokai, if you think about their ults, it's not unreasonable to think about how that could be a disgusting combination.
Yeah, Trundle here, though, great pickup into the Ornn and the Leona here, and thus I really appreciate it as we see the R's coming out for the in-game draft. We'll see where stuff goes.
Yeah, as we have a pretty exciting, pretty beefy team coming in here. In fact, Phoenix even opting not to even pick up an AD carry, which is going to hurt them in the late game phase, where that high consistent damage output offered by attack speed crit no longer comes into play. But I mean, if you can just mow them down in the mid game, I mean, just tanks for the win style, then I mean, hey, power to you, right? You have so much CC, so much damage. You still have a lot of damage on your team. Swain, tons of damage. Trundle, tons of damage. Olaf, tons of damage. Rumble, tons of damage. You're not afraid of your damage output at all. There's no one who you won't be able to burn down. What it's going to come down to is Swain and Maokai locking people in on that Rumble ultimate. That's what their composition is. And I find their team composition spicy.
So it's possible this is a Trundle top lane. If that is, that'll be Olaf in the jungle, Rumble mid lane, and Swain Maokai bot. Could be Swain mid lane with Rumble Maokai and bot. One of those will end up in the bot lane. But with the Trundle top versus Ornn, this matchup goes from, oh man, there's a Trundle on the enemy team, to, oh god, I have to face a Trundle in lane as Ornn.
Yeah, I mean, the logic is pretty straightforward, right? You can steal away the stats of Ornn there. And I am expecting it to be I'm going to say, if Rumble or Swain, I think Swain. I could be wrong.
I'm going to go with the Rumble here. It will be the Swain.
Or is it Cat? Are they hovering it and they're going to switch it last second because
Crumbs? Who is the Crumbs here? It's me. It's me.
Or is it? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. They can still switch champions, Phinick. They can still switch champions. In fact, they can even switch roles if they want to. But Swain, to me, Swain Maokai makes a lot less sense. I understand you can CC lock people, but Rumble is really the carry of the team here. Right, like the Rumble is going to be the person looking to really put high amounts of damage to in this game, and it's going to be Azir you're going to look to late game on the side of Essential Lightning.
Yeah, and you know, late game consistent damage. Don't have a lot of it on the side of Phoenix Carnage. You look to Essential Lightning, and they have Azir. They have Lucian, who spikes more mid-game than late-game, but still going to give you that consistent damage. The only consistent damage you're going to get from Phoenix Carnage is this Rumble, and he has to get ahead of an Azir in lane, and Rumble struggles versus extremely poke-heavy laners.
Yeah, he has the shield to deal with it a little bit, so could go either way here. I mean, they need to really try and outlast the Azir in lane and focus around again. This is just a Wombo comp. Phoenix is playing a Wombo Renati style composition that's going to just mow through your front line because they've got so much like dot, burn damage, etc. They got the Rumble to go through. They got true damage from Olaf. They're going to steal your stats from Trundle, so you melt like butter. They've got Swain for consistent damage output.
That might be Trundle support.
Could be. I wouldn't
which would make more sense than Maokai, given the Swain's already here. And it's good into the Leona. This is like a 2016 pick here. I remember Adrian picking Trundle support on Immortals. Oh yeah, god.
I think I actually would have liked to have seen the Trundle in the top here against Ornn. I think it would have been a more favorable matchup. The noodle fight of the tank top lanes, I am well past that. I hated it when it was meta. I refused to play it. I didn't want to sit there, and there's a clip I remember from Darian, I think it was, playing Warwick top and during the noodle fight meta, where he literally started a fight, walked up, and left. He right-clicked on the enemy champion and came back and started eating chips. 10 seconds later, the fight was still going on. And it was at that moment I was like, you know what? I am so over this meta, and I will never look back on it. So whenever I see this Maokai against Ornn style matchup, I'm just like, you know what? Build an IE. That's what you need to do here. You need to break the meta. You need to get something spicy, mix it up a little, get a Rabadons, get a Rylays. Something, just don't give me a 45-second fight in the top lane where no one dies. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking for, Phinick.
Well, you see, neither of these laners do AD as their primary damage source.
Oh, who's to say they can't?
I'm gonna
listen. If Anivia can go AD carry,
Anivia doesn't go AD carry. She can go AP carry in the bot lane. Did you say Kale?
I myself have played the AD Anivia, and can attest to its prowess in the map of the ARAM.
That is troll as all hell. And I
Hey,
feel
man,
sorry for your
what
teammates when you
happens in
played
ARAM
that.
does not stay in ARAM. That's all I'm saying. You take it from ARAM, you take it to the Rift. It's the way it works.
Yeah, sure. Uh-huh. Anyways, we haven't really
All for
talked to
one?
all for when you don't take 80 on RW either.
Sure you do. You mix it up. One person goes AP, one person goes AD. What about the Yumi strat, huh? What about the Yumi strat?
Where
Four
you get
Yumis from one Yumi, and that one Yumi goes 80 carry.
okay.
All right, jumping back into this game here. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be as fun as the Yumi All for One.
I'm not
But
sure if that one's fun or interactive for anyone.
4 people get to AFK and push Q while they play RuneScape on the side. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyways,
What I'm going to look for in this game is going to be: is it possible for Essentia to contest this comp early on, or does Phoenix just run them in for dragons and try and out-macro them before they start worrying about the damage threats of Lucian and Azir, those ranged damage threats that can be tough for Phoenix to get onto? Who's going to sort of swing the sway of the gold ward in their favor first? I'm expecting Phoenix to actually take a pretty solid lead early on and translate that forward into a sort of a snowballing effect. If they're able to get the first 2 drakes, pick up 2 rifts, get the pressure rolling so Azir can never hit late game, that's what they need to do on the side of Phoenix. On the side of Essentia, it's get Azir ahead, get Azir ahead, get Azir ahead. Yes, Wukong with Black Cleaver is going to be and some sort of heal cut is going to be a big problem for Phoenix because all that AoE he does, and now that his clone can deal damage, it actually makes a pretty big difference. You can take a pretty significant amount of damage from those clones. Get Azir ahead, get Azir ahead, get Azir ahead.
well, you say that, but also Cruiser has 512,000 mastery points on Lucian.
Yeah, Lucian's definitely good. The problem with Lucian is when you get to late game and this Maokai has like 4k health and with tons of armor.
No, the Azir's
So-
better in the late game. I'm just saying, like, your early game insurance, early to mid game insurance is on the Lucian and on the.
I don't want to talk about the Swain Trundle. I won't talk about it. I don't know why they didn't put the Rumble in the bot lane and get some actual ranged damage going.
Okay.
Look, he agrees.
NA.
It's obviously a sign. It's obviously a sign, Phinick.
Well, maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's not. We'll see. The only sign I see is the sign that says we're about to get into game, and that means we can go ahead and introduce the teams. On the blue side, it's Phoenix Carnage, plays 3 in the top lane, Kayron in jungle, Guy Hess in the mid lane, Small Leo in AD carry, and support Predabear.
And for the side of Essential Lightning, who we saw take a pretty convincing win last game, we have Diesel on the Ornn top lane, Striker on the Wukong in the jungle, 11-11-2020 on the Azir in the mid lane, Cruiser running back on the Lucian, and Laxon on the Leona, who happens to be a sort of a model for Phinick here.
Okay, yeah, taught me how to play Swain. Unfortunately, I don't play support. He just taught me how to play Swain, but that's all right. As Laxon not getting the Swain this game feels bad, man. Instead, opting Leona did do very well on that game number 1, according to match history. So we will see if they can run it back. That said, right? So looking at this bottom lane, I know you've been avoiding it, man, but Lucian Leona, I feel like, has a much stronger lane than the Swain Trundle. Like, regardless of how good Trundle is post 6.
Listen, I might have to agree because it makes logical sense, but I don't want to agree. Why? Because the team comp out of Phoenix is just so satisfying. It is as a top laner who's looking at this and can basically argue that there are 5 top laners on this team. I'm just nodding my head in approval, saying yes. This is the way it must be.
Yeah, that
Please
is.
win and teach the world the power.
At some point, all
don't
5 of
be
these.
one world with tanks. That's all I'm saying.
I will say Essentia technically has 4 top laners on their team, or 4 champions that were at one point viable at the very least in the top lane as well. They have Ornn, Wukong, and Lucian, who have all been meta in the top lane. We've seen Leona top lane was kind of a fringe thing a couple years ago. Not necessarily
Lucian's
here.
Yeah, well, we'll say true top laners because I mean, Lucian came top as a cheese pick. He came mid as a cheese pick. He went jungle as a cheese pick for a brief period of time. The only role he hasn't been is support, and that's because that role is exclusively for Ashe.
God. And Misfortune. You forgot Misfortune support. Anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, that being said, once they hit level 6, Trundle being able to steal Leona stats is actually a very big deal, right? Because the thing is what you want to do as Trundle is you want to start sapping stats the second Leona actually procs Aftershock. So you start stealing additional stats, and then you just can't die. Leona burns down. It's not a good situation for Leona. Lucian probably gets out alive. But another thing I want to point out is we once again see Cruiser with that exhaust AD carry. That thing that won him so many fights in last game is we have a cheeky invade coming out already.
Diesel was able to sniff this one out, but the pillar comes in. He doesn't take Searing Charge. Oh, forced to flash out that one. Here's the thing, right? If Ornn didn't hold the ability, or if Ornn held the ability, he could have taken Searing Charge and just knocked the pillar out and gotten out that way. Instead, forced to flash here, and that always feels good going into this early game if you want to gank onto the Ornn early, where he struggles the most.
Yeah, they're actually looking to repeat gank this, which is very interesting. Very few teams try to execute this play, and Wukong's still up here, in fact. So this could go really well or really bad.
Also, they see the Swain
late
going
invade.
In for the. They see the Swain going in for this. Diesel should try to go tri-bush here, but it looks like they might be looking for Striker. 11-11, 2020 is over towards red buff. This is a 3v3. The root does land onto Diesel. As he tries to make his way out, he does not flash. He's ignited down, 100 health. Going back under tower, not fast enough. The first blood will go over to Gihes on that Rumble. And not only that, but the red buff going over to the Olaf, as well as the chickens here, means Wukong starting from behind as well.
That shuts Wukong down so hard, and it was actually so big brain to go for the late invade and focus on the Ornn because you already know that he doesn't have flash anymore, right? So just a really good invade. Double invade here by Phinick. I mean, wow, I haven't seen a double invade in such a long time.
Yeah, really smart, really cheeky play there. As you see, Predator and Small Leo already on the level 2 here. You see, Root does land on a Diesel. He hits his level 2 here, so he'll be okay going forward. But that lead, you know, you get a kill on the Rumble. He's not going to do too much with that at the moment because Azir is able to outfarm him and outshove him in lane. Despite that, hasn't gotten back for the gold yet. But really what you're looking at is this advantage the Olaf gets. You see Laxton going in on a Small Leo. Pillar going to be used to disengage, but forcing the flashes. All the flashes are being used with Striker. Still able to go ahead and flash dash on to Small Leo. Pick up the kill there. So nice little bit of gold going onto the Wukong. As you see, Trey's in the top lane, but Blaze 3 actually coming out behind on these. You have to respect the damage that can come out of the early combo of Diesel.
Yeah, we're already starting to see a lot of what we thought would cause a lead no longer making as much of a difference as corrupting potions are charged up and raring to go on Blaze here. But honestly, you know, Leo and Bear should have.
Oh boy, goes for the knockup.
No, not gonna quite get anything off. Mana is always an issue, but they should have known bot lane that, you know, Wukong's gonna be down there, right? We stole their red. You know he has to start blue. You know he's down here. Why play that aggressive without the vision? That being said, once again, that exhaust basically guaranteeing that kill. That slow was so big. You're just farming it up in the mid lane. Rumble now, after having that first blood, is sitting on 1,200 gold. Another 300, and he will look to back for that Haunted Guides.
Yeah, Striker. Level 3, 2 places 4, but Item-wise, Striker still able to win on these trades. Diesel now here, gonna pop the Bell's Breath. Scaron flashes forward, gets an axe onto Diesel. Striker now going into the back line, onto Blaze, gonna try to get the damage down onto the enemy top laner. Will do that as Striker picks up the kill there, is traded back onto Diesel. 11-11, 20-20, and Gihas are both on their way up, but Gihas got there first, and Kayron picks up the double kill on this Olaf, and now he's gonna back and grab Warrior as soon as possible, as he did go Conqueror instead of Lethal Tempo. We do know that will be Warrior and not the attack speed one that I forgot the name of, because literally only Twitch and Olaf take it.
Twitch and Olaf. Interesting champion selection for that.
You know which enchant I'm talking about. I just forgot the name of it.
Bloodrazor, yeah.
Bloodrazor.
There's a couple that get it, but agreed. Definitely like the 80 carry junglers tend to be more popular with the Bloodrazor. I myself typically build it on people such as Jax. Jax is one of the few people that can leverage it fairly well. That being said, Swain actually doing very good and Swain Trundle doing pretty good at CS. But not nearly as behind as we might have thought they would be here at the 5.5-minute mark. Oh, the brutal damage. Oh, it hurts so much, but Aftershock does absorb most of it. It's actually Wukong that gets the dragon. I was not expecting that.
Oh, I mean, he got bot priority. This Lucian and the Leona doing quite a bit to deal with the Swain and the Trundle. See, Blaze 3, critical damage coming in as a push is coming on from the side of Phoenix Carnage in this mid lane. They are about 1,000 gold up here, most of that on the Olaf, who still hasn't backed. Has a longsword here, so I would guess Warrior instead of Stormrazor, because Stormrazor builds out of daggers, but, or I should say the recurve build for Stormrazor builds out of daggers.
Most Olafs will probably build Warrior. Another pause coming in, and a lot of server issues going to be going on right now. Might be my indication to not hop into some solo queue after this. Might look to find a different game for the night. Maybe some Valorant. Who knows? Spice it up a little bit.
Look at me. I have a Valorant key and you don't. Gosh,
well, that's just kind of rude, Phinick. Why would you say that?
Because you just said that you had a Valorant key and I still don't. So way to rub it in my face.
I don't remember ever saying such things. That's horrible. How could you? Why would you say that to chat, Phinick? Apologize to them.
I don't have a Valorant key. You do, and you just gloated to everyone.
So you lied to them?
No, I didn't say that. I was saying I was mocking your voice by doing that and saying, "Oh, look at me. I'm smartest. I have a Valorant key, and I'm gonna humble brag about it."
Nice to meet you, smartest. I'm dead. As we move on from that one. Haunted guys coming in for Rumble.
You just doed me, and I'm the play-by-play. I'm the play-by-play. That's my job, and you just doed me.
Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Again, though, I really do have to compliment the Swain for doing so well in CS. I wasn't expecting it. You were talking about, Lax and being a Swain main. The thing is, and any one tricks like myself out there might be well aware of is that when you play into it, you know the champion so well, you know what to expect, when to expect it, you know the optimal way to play the champion. So it's oftentimes it can sort of be a double-edged sword to steal something stolen from you. Like, if it's your one trick, it gets stolen from you and they play it into you, you might know a good way to play against it, and all of a sudden, what seemed like, we're denying them their signature champ. We're gonna play it against them. It's gonna be great.
I mean, Laxton already picked the Leona before the Swain, but even then, I'm just, it's not a great bot lane pick. Like, despite the fact that he's even in CS with the Lucian, which is fine, he's also down a kill. Because you don't really get the safety that you get in a solo lane when you're playing him as ADC. If you're playing him as support, you can play him like other mage supports and play him like even line or slightly behind your ADC. When you're playing like with this Trundle here, he doesn't have a good way to deal with the Leona before he hits level 6.
Very true. Have some exciting banter going on in chat. I'd love to see things like that. Well, both teams just being very competitive.
I mean, I don't see any banter, but then again, I have chat off for the purposes of the stream.
You know what? In this instance,
I'm
might
not
be
turning
for
it
the
on.
best.
No, it's
No,
not
no, no,
happening.
no, 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 no. I'm saying it might be for the best that it's off.
I mean, this is why we occasionally do it. Anyway, we're still paused
This is
here.
my kind of flame. I'm digging this. I'm digging this. Keep it going, guys. If you can hear me, keep the flame going.
Well,
Treat
you
it
see,
like
it's a 3-minute
the
delay. Also, you
Pokemon
were right.
runner's flame of fire for
Also,
the
spoken like
Kanto League champions.
spoken like not only a true top player, but also a top Vayne player.
Vayne is a lot of fun, not gonna lie. It's only a champion. See, the thing about AD carry top laners is you can really only get away with it if you are significantly better than the player you're playing against. Because top laners get countered pretty hard, or sorry, like AD carries get countered pretty hard by the majority of bruisers in the game. The only one who does like exceptionally well into them is like Quinn, because Quinn's kit is just nuts for top lane. Right, that's why she's top laner.
It's why when we see certain bruisers top lane, we see Karma and Karma and Quinn come out of the woodworks and be like, "Yep, we're things. We still get played solo lane sometimes."
Always the case. So, have you been watching a lot of Valorant streams? You mentioned it earlier.
Yes, still haven't gotten the key.
It's the RNG factor, but
this is
I know we talked about this a little bit the other time, but were you big on CS:GO?
Yeah, I do really like CS:GO a lot. I'm saying this is karma for me getting a first day Runeterra key.
Oh, I didn't play Runeterra until like anyone could get in, like when they released that.
But yes, I do like CS:GO a lot. My favorite team right now being Team Liquid. For CS, not for League. My favorite team for League right now is FlyQuest. But
the hype train. Okay, I see you, bandwagoner. I see you.
I'm not a bandwagoner. I like them since last season, dude. Although I do miss Pobelter mid. Power Revival does work very well for that team.
He's really good.
He is really good.
Did you watch him against Bjergsen?
Yes, I did.
Last series?
Well,
very impressive performance.
That's the thing. Is like Pobelter does well against Bjergsen as well, but I think Pobelter. Historically speaking, Pobelter does well against Bjergsen in lane. Like he's the reason CLG and TL have both beaten TSM in playoffs. So
the problem is like in the top level of gameplay, a lot of the teams are so mid lane focused. Like like we have like the sort of hyper carry mid laner, and Pobelter has never been the hyper carry player. He's always been someone who he's not a coin flip player, right? Like he's like a constant. Like he's like a constant, like 70%, 75%, 80% player.
I mean,
you're not gonna get like you're usually he's had bad days, but you're usually not gonna see him underperform severely. Whereas some of these other players, either they go nuts and just pop off like crazy in 1v9, or they're behind and actually have no impact on the game.
I think PoE is very much like Pobelter in the same way, but he pops off slightly more than Pobelter does. Like Pobelter does have pop-off moments, like when he was on TL, obviously Spring Finals are a big one for Pobelter, as well as, 2016 Immortals, back when Victor and Azir were just kind of his bread and butter, made some insane plays on both those champions. And I personally, like, Pobelter is my favorite mid laner, so maybe it's just, fanboyism talking, but I think that, like when he got picked up by CLG, he was probably, like, this year, he was probably playing some of the best games he's ever had, but the team is just kind of not great at playing around him, which is tough to say, because putting putting all your eggs in the Pobelter basket is something that a lot of teams won't do because of Pobelter's rep, but I feel like if CLG did that, they might have won more than 2 games in the second half of the split. Anyways, we're back from the pause. Reconnects a bound. Striker ready to go, ganking in this bottom lane. As you see, a little bit of swing and miss from the Leona. Exhaust still going to go down. Swain going to pop the W, get the slows, and 10 health. Actually, only 5 health. Striker was the only one who got popped by the Division of Empires, but Predator will bite on a cruiser. Back up, and they're able to get out of that one without exhausting any summoner spells.
Yeah, not a bad performance out of them at all. I mean, it was really good play by Phoenix Carters there to be able to come out of that gank unscathed. despite, you know, again, that exhaust being dropped for that slow, that pillar actually made a pretty big performance there, denying a lot of the chase as we have Kayron again on the Olaf.
Ragnarok enemy pops, steering charge back under tower, gets hit with an axe, but an ult for no summoners, just a little bit of lane pressure. Not necessarily the best trade for the Olaf, but Ornn is forced to take a back here. Gonna grab a Ruby and Sapphire Crystal apiece. Would expect normally for a complete rush into the Sunfire Cape, but just due to the fact that Olaf is so present, but he does appear to be going Abyssal Mask after the Balmy Cinder for the Maokai and Rumble.
The Abyssal Mask on who, sorry?
On the Ornn.
Ornn, oh yeah, the Catalyst. Yeah, he's so I was focused on the bomb. So the one thing I didn't mention earlier is that whenever you have tank versus tank, Bommies is just broken. Like if one tank builds Bommies and the others doesn't, you just win. Which is why we saw the Bommies rush by both of them in the top lane. It is possible, like you mentioned, the Abyssal Mask, which is really good into, again, a tank versus tank matchup. I'm expecting Maokai to most likely match that build here. The only reason you're seeing items on Ornn is because, well, Ornn. who doesn't have to base to buy the items he needs.
I mean, he based to buy that, and he was about 200 gold down, but Maokai on the back will be buying at least components for Catalyst. If he gets 200 more gold, he will buy Catalyst here. If he opts for that build, he could always opt into just completing Sunfire Cape, although doesn't do as much against Ornn as the completed Abyssal Mask will, just due to the amount of AP coming out from both of those champions, and in fact from both of these teams. Lots of AP actually coming out from Phoenix Carnage here, 3 out of 5 players with that magic damage.
That sustain that Lucian picked up earlier does mean that now they can't exactly whittle him down in lane. Before, Swain was able to harass him a little bit, try and poke him out, but once that sustain comes in, it is basically impossible to take him on the lane unless you have some sort of, you know, consistent damage on your side. With no range on their team on bot lane side, it's really tough to keep that damage going without just having it, you know, healed up. So they're going to struggle for a little bit, and they're going to look to play on other parts of the map. I mean, Kayron is just having such
Call for God gonna be used to try to use the tower to the advantage. Olaf is taking up tower damage, but the tower does go down to the Rift Herald charge as he gets rooted up by the Maokai ultimate. Gonna pop the Bellows Breath, but still goes down, and a third kill of the game going on to Kayron on this Olaf. I would like to point out though, right? Lucian not just building this Vamp Scepter for lane, and not just, you know, Blade of the Ruined King. We typically associate Blade of the Ruined King with a mid-game spike, with a mid-game build for Lucian. However, look at the team comp he's up against. He's up against triple Bruiser plus tank. Blade of the Ruined King scales very well against both Bruisers and tanks. So even though you're typically like, oh, Blade of the Ruined King, mid-game spike, not necessarily late game, it will help him do damage to 4/5 of Phoenix's team throughout the entire game, really.
Yeah, and again, it's going to come down to the itemization choices of these tanks. MR is deceptively good against Blade of the Ruined King, right? Because the percent health damage is actually going to be coming from magic damage. Looks like that engage was all for naught. Swain did you manage to flash out of it, but that is the second Drake now being taken down by Phoenix Carnage on a mountain map. Oh my, if Phoenix Carnage is able to get the Mountain Soul with this team composition, that's going to be pretty terrifying.
Yeah, but they need 3 Drakes to get it. Both of these teams grabbing 3 Drakes to begin with.
3's not that many. I can count that on one hand.
1 Drake
Easy
for each.
Peasy.
Yeah, but that's 15 minutes at least until you get that soul, if you do get it. At that point, you're already into the late game, right? So, and it really depends on if they're able to get the next dragon. If they get this next mountain, I think they might be able to actually grab the soul. If it is taken by Essential Lightning, then you don't have that as your late game insurance, because you're not going to be able to grab it until at least 30 minutes in, and at that point, Azir's already online, and you can't really grab that. So, very important that Essentia grabs at least one of these Mountain Drakes to make sure Phoenix can't scale in the late game. As we see Blast, gonna go ahead and grab a root, and the Azir will just use the Emperor's Divide to knock that one away. As we see the equalizer come
Shuffle
down.
out of there, if you know what I'm saying.
I mean, so that's not the shuffle, because the shuffle is, right, QWER, so that's the face roll. That was kind of the reverse shuffle, because he uses the Emperor's Divide, and then here he goes, or I said, sorry, shuffle is WQER, my bad, but he went RWQE, right? So
You're right, Phinick. That was pretty punny. Moving on to get
I'm
all
sorry.
the plate does go down. Rumble gets the plate. It's fine. Feelings not hurt as we continue. Wukong.
oh man, Wukong gonna pop the
engaged
ultimate,
now.
he's still gonna pop down. He's ignited though. He does spin and flash. 11-11, 20-20. Forced to use the shifting stance to get out of that one. The root follows the flash, and Blaze 3 picks up a nice kill for himself. Diesel now in a bit of trouble. Kayron
Look,
does so much damage. Oh, 5 HP for the Swain, as Diesel will end up getting the shutdown. Bit of a fast dive. Oh, Striker, what are you doing, man? He has flashed into the Flame Spitter. And that's more plates going over onto Phoenix Carnage as they win that fight 2-for-1, or I should say 3-for-1.
Yeah, and it's really looking rough for Essential. Like I said, this all wait to return engage.
With the engage, Emperor's Divide puts Gias back under the tower. He will be taken out very low by Cruiser, but not going to fall. As Call of Forge God does not come in. Small Leo now going to be stunned up as the frozen field goes down to anti-Laxon. Going to try to get the roots down. He is knocked back by the enemy team, but it doesn't matter as the double kill will come in for the Azir, and the shutdown goes over to Cruiser as well as able to pick up the kill onto the jungler on the chase. 3-for-0 in favor of Essentia Lightning. And just like that, they make this thing a little bit more even.
Absolutely. As the banter continues, teams on feeling very what's the word, competitive tonight. Looks like we have a game on our hands, 6-6, the dragon for both sides. Less than, actually no, about a 1,500 gold lead in the favor of Carnage.
So
Go ahead.
here's something interesting. So Lucian is about 1,000 gold up. Instead of going in to complete the Blade of the Ruined King here, off the Bilgewater Cutlass, he buys an Executioner's Calling with the 900 gold.
Which is absolutely necessary, right? Like that heal cut is necessary to deal with this Maokai Swain Trundle you have running at you, and Olaf, to be honest. Because while you get the % health damage, absorbing that healing to be able to have your your Wukong and Azir kill them faster is going to do more for you at the moment. As the health bars scale up, Blade of the King is going to be more pivotal in these fights, but without heal cut, you're trolling. Right, and that's why you see it on Wukong, you see it on Leona. You're going to be seeing a more Automaton from Azir. You might even see a ye old Ramble coming in, or not Ramble, Brumble coming in from Ornn here.
I don't think you see the Morello Nomicon on the Azir necessarily, because we already see 2 sources of Grievous Wounds on his team. Lucian, of course, can still consistently apply that over time, and I feel like as an item, right, or as a way to get Grievous Wounds, Executioner's Calling is much more efficient. And I feel like if you're trying to make sure your Azir gets online as fast as possible, they should try to maximize the efficiency of Azir itself. Small Leo now, forcing the ultimate. Or Striker forcing Small Leo's ultimate. He's in front of the blasting cone. Gets taken over by Small Leo. He's forced to flash out of that one as Diesel gets Call of Forge God onto 2. Followed by the 2-man knockup. Leo's ultimate gonna do the stuns as we see the calling come in onto Predabear. He will eventually go down as pops a stopwatch. 11-11, 20-20 on a killing spree. Richard was popped in the mid lane and will be able to take this tower, but it will end up being an overall 2-4-0. As we see Maokai just splitting in the top lane, he was able to grab a tower as well. Mountain Dragon though being started by Essentia Lightning. That top lane though gonna be a sore thumb for the side of Essentia if they're not able to keep this Maokai split push in check.
Yeah, they won that fight, but they ain't got the Mountain Dragon.
Oh, nice engage. Kayron able to get onto Laxon, but he will end up trading his life. Cruiser goes on a killing spree, and that's not a trade you want to take.
Yeah, but traded quite a few summers for it, right? Exhaust and Ignite both going down for that. So those loss of combat summers could be in trouble for the next fight. Traded 1-for-1, not terrible. Normally support for jungle you might not consider worth it. In this instance, support had not died yet, so it was still worth a considerable amount of gold. Now you have the Black Cleaver completed by Olaf, expecting him to most likely go into something like a Righteous, or even, honestly, a Stoneplate might not be terrible here. Give the Leandry's completed for Rumble. Rumble up and go. Zhonya's next, worried about that Wukong and Lucian, but that CC lock by Ornn and Leona, blocking down 2 members of the side of Carnage, was so big in that fight.
Yeah, and on top of that, right, we have Nashers 2 already completed on 11/11/2020. Has a blasting wand. Lots of items that can be completed out of that one, so we'll see. As well as the Berserker's Grace for the attack speed. Lucian, meanwhile, has Blade of the Ruined King completed. Builds a longsword. We'll be going Essence Reaver next item, most likely. As we move into the rest of this mid-game, look at the state of the towers. 4 towers to 0. They are only up 1,500 gold. And given that, if Essentia can go ahead, get a fight, they grab towers, that's not just the fight putting them even, that's standing gold on the towers. You see GHS popping the equalizer.
That's
Cruiser,
way too late.
Yeah, I mean, he uses the scrap shield and the harpoon, but Cruiser just gonna dash in, gets ignited.
Oh!
Gonna go down very low. Last take and the shutdown will end up going over to GHS, so a 1-for-1 trade. Nice stopwatch use from GHS there. As well as the equalizer.
A little bit late there. He could have most likely just turned on Lucian instantly. He's got so much damage on him right now. The Leandry's Sork Pen with boots. He's gonna melt through that Lucian. I think he underestimated his damage a little bit there. Wukong having a little bit of connectivity issues. Unfortunately, Essential Lightning has used up their pause time, so they have no pause available to them. Now we are looking to just continue forward. Baron on the map in a minute. Next mountain up in 2.5 minutes. I want to really see Carnage move towards setting up vision on this mountain drake, because they desperately want to get that mountain. So like I mentioned before, you have a bruiser comp, right? You have a front line, beef line, bruiser composition. You want that mountain drake. It does so much for you.
Yep. As we've talked about, 4 bruisers and a control mage, and the control mage is not the Swain. So, it's a fun time. But at the same time, when you draft a comp like this, if it gets late, you run into a lot of issues, especially versus Swain, especially against the Blade of the Ruined King Lucian. As we see, Blaze and Diesel just wet noodling it out in the bottom lane. Nothing to see here. Go away. Spirit Visage was actually the MR item built up by the Maokai here. As we see the level 13 coming in on Diesel, he is very close to the Sunfire Cape, but has the Abyssal Mask as the first item there, so that is ornamented up. I would expect the Gnasher's Tooth to be the next ornament here, unless he waits for the death cap, in which case it will probably be the Blade of the Ruined King, but we'll see how he decides to play that.
Yeah, that dragon type creeping up here. They need to start getting control of vision from Ascension Lightning if they hope to contest this dragon. We have a very good vision line being set up by the Trundle here. I have that 25 CS score at the 20-minute mark. Would have liked to see it a little bit higher from these supports at this point in the game. Usually around 32 is ideal, but it's all right. We keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Get those pink boards out. But this Azir is who you have to start looking to, saying that this is a real threat.
Nice Ragnarok, man.
Getting out of that blue one.
But that's a Ragnarok down, and Diesel just popped the searing charge for it, so that's a worthwhile trade for Essentia.
Ragnarok's down, but it'll be up to 5 to 10 seconds after that dragon spawn, so I don't think they're terribly worried about the timer there. What's going to be more important is Azir not having this blue buff.
Yeah, well, he's fine for mana in the next fight. He's at about 2/3 mana right now. He is very close to his Leandry's Torment as well, which is a very nice item to get on the Azir here, especially against a bruiser comp like this. The percent health plus the Madness passive that you're able to consistently proc is very nice. Blaze, though, looking for the ultimate. Will be able to find a route onto Laxton as well as Wukong, but he's able to pop the ultimate first. Ona gonna pop the ultimate as well as the Equalizer comes down. Azir gonna pop the ultimate as well to get Predator back into the rest of his team, but alas, no kills. as it looks like Essentia are on the run. Small Leo also popping the ulti there. Flash forward, gets the E down. He has a bit of trouble here. Gonna be engaged on by Cruiser. Here comes the Zhonyas, and he's able to pick up the kill. Flashback onto Laxon. Flame Spitter. Laxon gonna be the next one to fall, and Kayron picks up that kill. And just like that, Phoenix Carnage picked up a nice 2 for 0. I spoke a little bit too soon. Striker gets caught up by the Never Move. Flash forward into the root. Place 3 picking up the kill there. That's a 3-4-0, and the Mountain Dragon going over to Phoenix Carnage.
Like I said, top laners, OP. And that's what we're seeing here, man. Like I said, I really want them to win. The reason I want them to win is because I want them to show that you do not need an 80 carry to win. 5 top laners, best comp. Top lane, best flow. Any questions? None. As we continue forward, the Baron now being the objective on the map. 4 minutes, 40 seconds up until the next Mountain Drake. 2 for 2 on Dragons. But wait.
Might find Predabear here. Dashes forward. Gets Q.
Good old Pillar.
Pillar was up. But this Baron is up. Trundle level 13. But here's the big kicker. Kayron, level 12. Striker, level 10 off of that disconnect. Would be maybe a level down, maybe half a level down at this point. But instead, 2 levels down, that smite, not a 50-50. So, if Essentia wants this Baron, they're going to have to kill the Olaf first.
Yes, they will have to kill the Olaf first. Ragnarok came up mid-Leo ult in the last fight. It is a very short cooldown on that ultimate, as he does have a 30% CDR sitting on him as well from Black Cleaver plus a Warrior. Also, he had blue buff, just another recalling. So he actually had 40% CDR on him, leaving his ultimate a very short cooldown. 30% CDR has him at 63 seconds on his ultimate. So not at all a very long timer on that one. They're going to start to look pressuring Baron, Trundle, Rumble, Olaf. I mean, your Baron clear time's not bad at all.
Blade of the Ruined King has been ornamented though, so that's going to help a bit in these fights. As we do see Leandry's torment has been completed by the Azir. And this is where we want to see the Azir start to pull ahead. Currently, he is behind about 700 gold, but if he's able to find a couple of kills, grab his death cap, all of a sudden, you have an ornamented death cap on an Azir.
Definitely. It's going to take about 3,600 gold to accomplish that one, though. You have Rumble a lot closer to that Rabadon's. That percent health damage all of a sudden not going to do too much to Maokai, as he's got Merc Treads and Spear Visage. Percent health damage is countered pretty heavily by base MR. That's why it's super strong early game, and it tends to fall off against tanks later on. As we have, there it is, that Olaf started up on the Baron.
One of the few champions that might be able to solo it.
No, he won't be able to quite solo it, but he's certainly going to try and put the pressure on it. However, Scrying Orb does scout it out, and it's going to be another start here. And I think they actually should be able to...
They don't have enough DPS here, but they do have 2 levels up on the smite. Again, never moved, pillared back. Here comes the ultimate from Leona into the culling. Striker with a huge ultimate, but he still goes down as the Ornhorn able to get 3. Laxon now going to be the next one to fall. He's down to 100 health as we see Diesel picking up a kill on a small Leo. This will be a 2 for 1 as Blaze 3 goes on a killing spree. The Baron is stopped for now, but they're down their jungler.
However, both carries on the side of Ascension Lightning are both still up. Tower gets dropped by Azir. Olaf trying to go for the scuttle. The sneaky scuttle.
3.
Oh, they're goodbye Maokai's health bar.
He's able to heal up. He's got Spirit Visage, obviously, but we do see Olaf making his way down. Yeah, we're getting Max on the 11-11 2020. This turret does prevent the Baron from being taken here. So well played from 11-11 2020. He's at 1060 gold right now, and he's about 200 gold before his next back here.
Yeah, again, that 2 for 1 means that Phoenix still coming out on top in these fights, though.
Taking a back here, while he is 50 gold down on the needlessly large rod, so I might be going for something else. We'll end up popping a blasting wand here. So potentially a Morello's buy, potentially a... I can really only see that going into either Morello's or Void Staff buy here.
Yeah, Void Staff wouldn't be bad. Morels also wouldn't be bad. Most likely going to be a Void Staff, just because he's definitely struggling getting through the Maokai and Olaf here in some of these fights. More so than Maokai. With a Void Staff, would negate quite a bit of that as, oh man, look at that damage coming in from that Azir. Oh, with late game hyper carry starting to come into play here. And Phoenix Carnage going to be a little careful of the next Dragon fight now.
He did give 5 HP over to Small Leo, though. Never forgot the 5 HP.
5 HP OP. And they're going to look to burn this Drake on spawn. Rumble getting mid-prio here, which is a really important thing to note. And these corridors are super dangerous for Scented Lightning.
The pillar came down a bit early there. Striker is invisible, but now he's not. Leona going over
Rumble,
the wall. Here comes
really
the
good Rumble.
Calling for it. Got 3-man knockup right into the calling. Diesel goes on a killing spree. He's able to get the kill on his way. And Striker, though, gonna go down very low as the Rumble does his damage. Gohas is on a killing spree as Predator is able to get the kill onto the enemy support. The ultimate does a lot of work for him there as Diesel now gonna get a knockup. Only able to get one. Cruiser gonna do the damage he can. Will get the kill on a Predator as the Zoner's Hourglass gets popped from Gihes. He will be going down. The shutdown goes over to the Ornn, but it's still a 3-4-3. Diesel not going to find the chase as his AD carry is down super low. Kayron might be able to go for this dragon as he is Olaf and he heals up.
Yep, then his attack speed gets pretty nuts as the health bar goes down, the yield passive, which is going to guarantee the 3rd Mountain Drake, which now puts Soul as a threat. This is so big for Phoenix Carnage. And really, it is Azir that is the focus here. Lucian did a lot of damage, yes, but the only reason that fight, honestly, went so heavily in the favor of Phoenix Carnage was because of how much Azir got zoned off by that Equalizer. That Equalizer, well, though it didn't do a lot of damage because of its positioning, did zone Azir off entirely. That was also important. Would have liked to have seen it dropped a little bit earlier, back when Leona first engaged, to guarantee that % health damage coming in with that Leandries, but that does mean that Rumble has his Rabadons now, which means that is a scary Equalizer.
Yeah. That being said, though, right, we have level 15 on the Ornn. He does not have any ornaments to give unless he wants to give it to the Nashor's Tooth. He can now do it on the Black Cleaver Striker as that's completed, so I would expect that, because Azir is building into some Blasting Wand item. We expect a Void Staff. Could always be Morello's, could always be Rylai's, but most likely the Void Staff here. So I am interested to see if we're gonna wait until essentially a level 18 from Diesel to upgrade the Azir
that's
item.
huge!
Striker gets caught out there, and now that's the go time. Diesel will be forced to use Sting Charge out of that one. Azir passive gonna be popped, but he's caught in the Never Move, and that means that he's gonna go down despite his best efforts. Cruiser able to pick up a kill in response, though, as it will be a shutdown going on over to the Lucian. Laxon going back in, 3-man knockup from the Ornn, pops the Zhonya's Hourglass, but he takes a lot of damage. The shutdown coming in from the Lucian. Small Leo able to get the kill onto Laxon as Diesel now the only member of his team alive in a 1-3-3 scenario. The tower gonna fall. Diesel gets a knockup, gonna go on to Predator, but he's not able to find it as he is caught by the Never Move. The shutdown, and the ace will go over to Phoenix Carnage, and they're gonna push more on this mid lane.
The top laners are victorious! Oh man, you'll hate to see it, but you'll love to see it at the same time. You know what I'm saying? As Ornn, though, took a while to go down there. Like, man, did he live through that damage. Like, that was crazy. But Wukong, ooh, that positioning misstep caused the entirety of that.
Yeah, and you don't want to get caught out as the Wukong here. Void Staff is completed by the Azir. He was able to get 3 assists after he died there, so he now has 3 stacks on that. On the, I almost said Soul Ring. This is not Dota. On the Dark Seal. But I would expect that to be sold relatively soon, because he wants to keep inventory space for the wards, and he needs to build a death cap. This is one of those cases where you have to play around the fact that you have an Ornn. You don't want your Nashor's Tooth to be the item that's upgraded. You want the death cap to be upgraded. Please, get a death cap. You see the ornament coming in for the Black Cleaver.
Oh, Leona with the spices was in played. Luckily for her, it doesn't quite find anyone. Maokai's still in that bot lane, though. This is a 4v5. I really want to see them prioritize vision a little bit more here. Vision wins games, especially these later stages of the game. If they can prevent a Wukong flank, that's going to be the key factor.
Predator knocked up by the Ornn. Gonna pop the ultimate though as TP comes in. Equalizer able to get Striker out of the fight as the Call of Forge God comes in. Able to get a 3-man knockup as the Azir. Meanwhile, kiting back from the enemy jungler. We see Striker gonna go down. Smallio goes on a killing spree, but it is traded back. Kayron able to get the kill onto the Azir here. The Laxon was able to trade that one back onto Yeehouse. Picks up another one. Shut down Gold going over to the support here, but it is a 2v3 scenario as Lucian is nowhere to be found in this fight. Blaze 3 gonna try to go in, gets the root down, gets the knockback. Diesel gonna pop the Q. Predator in a bit of a sticky situation as Cruiser comes into the fight. Laxon going to get the root down onto the enemy jungler. Blast 3 gonna get the knockbacks into the pillar as Diesel now goes down on to the enemy jungler. Blast 3 gonna use the root to get out of the Leona engaged, and it's a 3v2 or 3-for-2 in favor of Essential Lightning.
That CC lock between the Wukong Ornn and Leona was just not okay. They had so many knocks. It was like Wukong, Ornn, Wukong, Wukong. Leona stun, Leona stun. Ornn stun, Ornn knockup. Like, that was just nuts to watch. Poor Rumble couldn't move. Also, Rumble had an unfortunate whiff of the equalizer, didn't hit anybody with it, which was pretty big for that fight. I think they need to play more around the Maokai, locking people in, and then following that up with an equalizer instead of just haphazardly throwing it out.
Oh my god, we just got raided by Upsurge Esports as we see the Rumble ultimate come down into the Ornn, gets a 2-man knockup. Laxon on a killing spree as he just does so much CC. Blaze 3 does go on a rampage as the jungler goes down. Laxon going to go grab the Swain. The ultimate comes in from the Azir, but he's not able to grab the Swain as he's already dead. Double kill coming in for Laxon in a 2 versus 1 or 2-for-1. Predator now down to half health. Root's gonna go down as the Leona comes in, gets shut down. Cruiser too far back there, and now Kayron able to pick up the double kill as Diesel is the last member of his team alive that has any sort of health. 11-11, 20-20, just trying to do damage.
They want the soul
from the wings here. They want to be able to find this dragon. They can't let the soul go over. Diesel not finding the way into the fight off the volcanic rupture, and it will be the Mountain Soul going over to Phoenix Carnage. And thank you for the raid, Upsurge Esports.
Oh no, Azir, don't
Predator.
Okay, all right.
On the Diesel.
And they're just gonna look to run it in at this point. I mean, they've got the Mountain Soul. Their best play here is to wait out just for the Elder. If they can wait till Elder, then they guarantee the win. Otherwise, if they're feeling confident, they might look to just continue forward. This Wukong has been just incredibly overzealous with the engages, not respecting the damage that Rumble's putting out at all. And this Olaf, though, I mean, Kayron has been having just what a performance on him. One of like the best performances of Olaf I've seen in a long time. Tons of early game pressure, tons of neutral objective focus, and really good focus in team fights.
It's called in. On to Predator. That's not the target that you want necessarily as the equalizer comes in. Able to get on to 2. Predator will eventually go down here. No, he's actually able to make his way out until 11-11, 20-20. Moves in with the shifting sands. That will be a 1-4-0, but they were up in the 4v5 in the previous fight. They were actually up 3v4, but Striker now on a small Leo. He's going to be taken down super low. Ultimate going to come in from the Lucian. Small Leo does not have the ultimate to his name. Will trade back onto the enemy jungler, though, as we see the roots coming out from Blast 3. The Azir not going to find the ultimate he wants as Kayron wreaks havoc onto Cruiser, but he is able to trade back. Shutdown Gold going over to the Ornn. It is a 2v3. Cruiser going to pop a shield here as Blast 3 forces the flash. Laxon going to pick up the kill onto Gihas, and will be a 2-4-4 in favor of Essential Lightning. They're not quite done with this game quite yet.
Brett, and that happened a lot because they fought a 4v5. Predator was down, got caught out a little bit. Not sure why they looked to have such a hard fight there. When Wukong engaged, Swain really just needed to look for the disengaged player. That's going to be a free Baron handed over to Ascension Lightning. No jungler on the map means that this is not the play you want to go for.
He does go ahead and ult the Leona, though, so he does have a way into this fight. As he called Forge God, going to be popped. Gonna find Predator instead, not going to find him. Or Blaze 3 threading the needle with that one. But this does mean that the Baron is stopped for now. Ignite's going to go down as Predator going to heal up a little bit with the bite. Slowed up by the Blade of the Ruined King pillar. Down now.
Whoa,
See,
well,
Swain
good delay
gets
by
10
them, though.
HP! No, that's only 5. Only Cruiser got hit by it. Feels bad. But
Still a very good denial, though.
yeah, insanely good Baron denial there. As you see the root from Blaze 3 on a Diesel. Striker is in the wings here. As the AD carry takes the back. Diesel booted up, knocked back into small Leo. Vision of Empire's not going to find him.
The man die!
He lives for so long. As you see, the ult's going to be popped by Stricker. He's rooted up to stop that one out. As you see, Ragnarok going to be popped into the back line, able to get the shutdown gold onto the Ornn. But here comes the Lucian, doing damage with the calling. Not going to be able to find the damage he needs. Those Blaze 3 goes unstoppable. He got the kill on Wukong. A beautiful equalizer, able to get onto 3 members. And Kayron still able to pick up the kill there. So it's 3 for 0. And the Baron going to go over to Phoenix Carnage.
What did I say? The 5 top laner composition's gonna reign supreme. They've got the Soul. They're gonna pick up the Baron. Next up on the map is gonna be that Soul, or sorry, the Elder in 2.5 minutes. They're gonna look to just split this pressure up with Baron buff and look to just take control of the bottom side of the map and guarantee the Elder. Because all they're gonna do with this Baron buff is look to pressure in. But Elder, like I said 4 times in the last 10 seconds, Elder is the name of the game. They want that Elder Drake.
So, a little bit of information now that there's downtime for those of you who joined from the raid from Upsurge Esports. I believe that was UPL that was being played on that channel tonight, so very thank you for coming over. This is the 3rd and final best of 1 for the night in the mid-weight testing grounds tournament, which is a Diamond 1 and below tournament hosted here on XLNC Esports every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. It is Clash format, but we only will stream games from the upper bracket in those 3 rounds. Clash format, obviously, the kind of hybrid between a double elimination and a little bit of Swiss, I believe, but still,
alas, we return.
Last we return to the game. Thank you for joining us. Do go ahead and hit that follow button if you like the broadcast and all that stuff. We do also have uncapped heavyweight scrim gyms later in the week, as well as lightweight, which is flat and below on Mondays. But back into this action here, Baron has been taken up by Phoenix Carnage.
They're gonna look to just try and pressure these towers from afar. Top isn't open-ended from the Maokai split push from 15 minutes ago. So they're finally going to get to capitalize off of that performance by Blaze. They lost a 2 for 1, unfortunately, in that play.
Oh boy, Ragnarok right on to 11-11-2020. Equalizer goes down as we see the calling and the call of the Forge God as well. 3-man knockup from Striker, chain into the call of Forge God, but he still goes down. Blaze 3 is dominating. Swain pop the ulti. They know the game's over. They know they're gonna go for it as 11-11-2020 is nowhere to be found in this fight. Cruiser already peeled off, but small Leo is still here. Very low. Diesel still here, very low as well. Laxon will eventually not go down to the Ignite. It's only 1 for 0 as Cruiser pops the shield himself. He will eventually go down to Gihas, who gets traded back by the tower. It's a 2 for 1, and I thought the game was over right there. But they're gonna be able to heal up. Inhibitor goes down. They're gonna back right out of the base.
Peel back, because what have I been saying, Phinick? It's all about that Elder Drake. And they're going to run straight there. They've got no AD carry on their team, but they don't care. They've got the Rumble down, actually. So this, wait a second, this might be a little
They have
dangerous.
DPS on the Olaf.
They got Olaf. They got Olaf. It's fine, right? They got Olaf. Leona's here. Shouldn't matter. You got Swain.
Here comes 11-11-2020. He's going to find a Shurima shuffle, and small Leo ends up going down to Laxon. But it does appear that 11-11-2020 will trade his life. Will be able to get an Emperor's Divide off. His Call Forge God chains the CC. Gonna pop the GA of the enemy junglers. Predabear now buying time. Laxon going in. 2-man knockup from Strikers. He goes back in onto Kayron, who pops the Ragnarok. He's gonna try to do the damage. He gets Laxon. He goes on a rampage. Striker nowhere to be found now as Diesel is the next target. He is knocked back. He's gonna try to get the Bell's rep. Shut down on Diesel. The Ornn damage too strong as Strikers able to disengage. It's a 2 for 2, and the Elder Dragon has been stopped by Essentia.
And after 45 seconds of team fighting, we finally had 2 people go down, only to be followed up by the Leona later on. Or actually, I guess it was 4. I guess 4 people went down. I only saw only 2 people I was looking at was really Leona and Swain, who just took ages to die. Ages. Even Olaf was in there living it up with that lifesteal he has built into his W attack speed. But man, if Azir and Lucian go down, the problem is they just don't have any damage on this sort of Ascension Lightning. You have a Wukong who's just too far behind. He was forced to tech into Adaptive Helm against his composition. Rumble in the bot lane. Oh, wait, is this a Drake rush by Ascension?
Well, Olaf is back up now.
They're gonna get it. They're gonna get it.
Have the DPS. Here comes the Rumble ult, but he's only able to get 2 members. Small Leo trying to make his way into the fight, but he's kited out of that one. As we see, the Azir ultimate disengaging G-Husk, but the back door coming in. They're gonna try to find it through the back door, but it doesn't matter as 2 members of their team are down. The Azir already dead. They need to get these backs, but they need to be delayed now. As we see the Maokai pushing in, he's gonna try to get this last tower. Try to bear now. Gonna get the ultimate onto Laxton. The back makes its way as the tower goes down. Striker in a bit of trouble here, but here comes the going on. He's able to find Striker. Diesel now alongside Laxton in the wet noodle fight as Lucian is trying to make his way on to this Maokai. He's trying to expect. I think he might just do it here. Cruiser has no damage.
Oh, wait. We gotta wait.
There's no way. There's no way. Here comes the back from the Leona. Here comes the Ornn. Place 3 finally gonna go down. The Nexus lives with 767 HP. And they're able to pick up a 4-2 fight. And the, I almost said Infernal. And the whatever that is dragon.
You
the
look
Elder
so
Dragon.
good. You get so hyped and then you're like, wait, that damage, that's just Midness. Maokai auto's doing nothing to this Nexus. Wait a second. Each auto was like 50 damage to this 1,000 health Nexus. Like, it just wasn't happening. Oh man, that almost was so good. If it was just about almost any champion but Maokai, that would have been GG.
But
all the Death Rush? Is this the Death Rush? So that Elder Drake was pretty big. Phoenix Carnage had some really bad back timers there. You know, Olaf and Maokai backing.
This next fight probably decides the game because it decides Baron and Ascension despite
and back timers. Yeah. The problem is these super minions in the top wave are going to start crashing in. Oh, wait, no, that item just came up. This is the perfect timing for Ascension Lightning. They only have to worry about mid lane prio, and then they can push it in. They have no TP on Maokai. Maokai has to be with the team. They have Elder Drake. It's now on.
Azir going in, pops the Ragnarok. I'm not sure you wanted to take that ultimate Chief. Diesel not able to get any knock up, so it will be an ult for an ult. Trying to push in on this one. They're only 1,000 gold down. 45 minutes in, 3 members have the Elder buff. Will they be able to do it? Will they make the comeback? They've been behind the entire game.
Yeah, the Elder buff still has a little bit of time left on it. They need to wait that out. Oh, it looks like only Leona and Ornn have it. Lucian, I believe, did. No, Lucian should have it as well.
Lucian has it as well. Yeah.
Lucian has it as well. Perfect. Those be the members that have. Those be the members that have it.
Engaged on. Rooted back. Here comes the calling. Not going to put any damage on the Panda Bear. As we see Striker with the ultimate on the other side of the fight. Rumble able to get a huge ultimate as well as Swain pops it. Everything's being popped here. But the only thing that matters is the Lucian got popped. And that's going to be all the damage off the table. Essential Lightning not able to make the comeback as it will be a clean ace. And the game going over to Phoenix Carnage. They are this week's champions. They get the circuit points, and they're going to go ahead and get invited to the Invitational.
5-4-0 team fight. Who needs an AD carry? What did I say when I saw these drafts? You got 5 top laners.
I think if Striker didn't DC, this game wouldn't have gone this way.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's because they had 5 top laners. They played the game really well. They had some really good team fights. Oh, man. What a game we had. The banter a little bit heavy, but ignoring that, we definitely had some high-quality League of Legends gameplay. You love to see the tank brawl. Okay, maybe not that part, but you love to see the expectate Okay, we didn't get that either. Listen. It was the top of the top gameplay that was won through sheer brilliance of drafting. Okay,
I don't
All right?
think it was a draft. I think, look, here's what I'm gonna say. I don't think Ascension necessarily got outplayed. I don't think they got outdrafted. I think they had some unfortunate mishaps. Striker DCing for a bit, him getting caught out 1 or 2 times was basically all it took for the Olaf to scale into the late game, plus not being able to really take any 50-50 smites due to the level disadvantage, due to the DC. They handed over Mountain Soul because they couldn't do. I think if we ran back this game at the exact same T-comps, if we did a salty run back at this game, I think Ascensia might have been able to pull it off.
But what's important is that they didn't, and Phoenix Carnage found themselves a well-deserved win. That all 5 members played really well. Give a huge, easy, very easy MVP to Kayron, who just decimated that early game. What a performance out of him. His early game pressure on the top side of the map was insane. Had such good... That double invade was such a good call that set Wukong behind from the start. Though 2 strikers benefit. He did manage to pick up a double kill in the bot lane soon after an overextended play by Smolio and Predabear. So kudos to both teams. You know, like you said, Ascension wasn't down and out for the count that whole game. They tried to find some plays throughout the game. They've managed to find some picks. You know, they really tried hard to play their front-to-back play style. But Kayron, man, every team fight, he was just deep in the weeds looking for a monkey, looking for an 80 carry, saying, 80 carry? Those don't belong here. Get out of here. And they were able to find themselves a victory. So once again, congratulations to Phoenix Carnage.
Yeah, all that being said, though, that is all the time we have tonight for the midweight testing grounds. We will be back at it again next Tuesday, as well as the heavyweight testing grounds coming in later in the week. Lightweight testing grounds on Mondays. We hope to catch you for those streams with everyone here at XLNC, myself, the production crew, Jake, the rest of the admins. My name is Phinick.
Is that my cue?
Yes, that's your cue.
Okay, all right.
My name is Phinick.
And I'm smartest too.
And we will...
Just go. Oh, wow.
Okay, let's try this again. My name is Phinick.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
No, let's do this again. My name is Phinick.
Oh, shoot, that was my cue again. I'm smartest too.
And we will see you later. Have a good night, folks.